Hello Leo, and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all Leos, Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising, and Cusp Leo as well. If you don't know where those placements are, there will be, sorry I got hair in my mouth, there will be a free natal link in the description box down below for you to go and check that out. Especially look and check out where your Venus is, and look to see if you have any planets or any points within the 05 to 21 degree mark of Gemini, because that's where Venus is, and this is going to be another part of the Venus readings. So I started off doing the U and question mark, and then I went into the Venus retrograde reading, went a bit deeper, and now I'm doing the Venus direct readings. So it's a different energy. Venus is now turned direct, so she's going back over the same space that she's been over for the third and last time. So I thought I would follow on with the Venus readings. So also you cross watchers, you may also want to go and check out your own natal chart as well. For those of you who are in a relationship with a Leo, interested in a Leo, or have been in a relationship with a Leo, you may also want to check out where the Venus energy is affecting you too. So I have separated all the good tarot deck, which is the cup energy that I'm working with. This is just the cup suit itself. There is no other cards within this. This is just to get a overall flavour of what the reading is. And you have the King of Water, or the King of Cups, that has come out here. And interestingly for me, at least, while I was kind of doing the meditation on this reading, this card in particular came into my head earlier. And the fish was very, very prominent for me. This little fish down here was what kind of was in my head about this card. I could see the card, but I could see this fish down here really very clearly. And this is Neptune. The King of Water here is the energy of Neptune. And Neptune was the ruler of the, or is the ruler of the waters, of the oceans, of the sea world under the waters. And so there is a real, with this card being water, it relates to all of the signs of the water, Scorpio, Pisces and Cancer energy. And so I feel today that there is this real strong sensitivity here. And I also get the feeling that somebody is, because it's in reverse, it's come out in reverse, there is something about this little fish being kind of representative of something that you're having to let go. It could even be a Pisces energy here as well, with the fish, the actual fish energy here. So there could be a Pisces, but it feels very strongly as though something is being released here, something is being let go, but there is a lot of emotion involved in this as well, Leo. This isn't just something that is just kind of an easy thing for you to do. When it's in reverse as well, the emotions are often out of balance here, which is why I'm kind of feeling this overwhelming energy of emotion rather than you being in control of your emotions. So we'll see what else comes out with this card. So I'm going to use one deck for yourselves here, Leo, and another deck for the person who you have some emotional connection with, emotional, spiritual, physical, mental connection with. And just to say that the other deck of cards you may feel makes more sense to you. You may feel that this isn't your part in the story, so just be aware that the energies can be swapped over, can be crossed over, so whichever suit or whichever cards you relate to best, and resonate with yourself. Just take it however it comes and feels right for you. Also, if your reading isn't here, you may want to check out your moon, your rising and your Venus, as I was saying, Venus especially at this time. And also, if you are a cusp Leo, you're going to be at the 0 degree Leo point coming out of Cancer. So you may want to check out the Cancer readings as well. And also, if you're at the other end, like the 29 degree, 57, 58, 59 mark, or yeah, round about that kind of mark, you may also want to check out your Virgo or the Virgo reading as well, because that's when you're kind of moving more into the Virgo energy possibly. So Leo, first card out for you today at the heart of your reading, we have the Tower in reverse. And it's a similar kind of energy here with this reversed. What I'm getting is this kind of, like it's very emotional, it's very overwhelming, but there's also this side of you that knows that you have to do this, you have to release this energy. Because if you see here, I don't know if you can see, there's a kind of, it feels like from his hand, it's difficult to see with this, there we go, from his hand to the fish, there is this kind of like an energy, and like it looks like an energetic connection between the fish and the hand here. It's a bit tricky to see in this light. So that's kind of what I'm feeling with about this release, is this kind of like, it's like there is this strong attachment still here, but you know that it's in your best it's for your best to do this, to allow it to happen, to release this. And this is what I feel is the same with this energy here as well. Because it's in reverse, it is a reluctance here, but there is a release. It's like something has to be let go of, something has to be released, something has to be has to be released for there to be any movement or any growth or any, because the Tower is always about restriction. It's always about the kind of energy that we build up around ourselves over a period of time, and so we actually kind of wall ourselves in a certain way of thinking and being, and then it kind of gets to a point where we have to break free from that, because we have actually restricted ourselves by putting up all these rules and regulations and things that we can and we can't do because of this, that and the other. And so the Tower, although it kind of seems to come from an outside source or energy, it always is actually something that we kind of bring in to break free, if you like, to kind of break out of and break through something. So it's not an outside energy as such, even though it does work from an outside source. But it is this kind of saying, you know, you need to have this Tower moment, or you are in this Tower moment even. It is right at the very centre of your reading today, Leo. So you may be having this kind of epiphany as well, realisation about things, like the lightning striking the Tower here. That moment kind of eureka, or like suddenly seeing things very clearly. It can be a very Uranus energy as well. Uranus at this moment in time is in Taurus. But if you've got Uranus, wherever you have Uranus placed, you could be having kind of aspects to that as well, because it is a very Uranus type of energy. Also very kind of Saturn as well in a way, because I always see the Tower as being the actual structure of the Saturn energy, of it kind of really restricting us. Saturn is all about restriction and kind of structure and establishment, that kind of energy here. So it's like breaking through the old clearing out, breaking out of the old into something new. But because it's in reverse, it kind of feels as though it's something that's something that doesn't feel comfortable, shall we say. There's a real kind of uncomfortable feeling about this at the moment, and also I feel is why there's this whole kind of feeling of overwhelming emotion involved with this as well. A lot of emotion. I was picking that up earlier. There's a lot of emotion involved with this. And the covering card here, we have the Page of Cups. So this is your challenge. So feeling, Leo, that your challenge, like with this at the heart of the reading, and this is the challenge, it's about you breaking out of the restrictions that you've placed on yourself when it comes to how you allow yourself to either be loved or actually love somebody else. There's like all these rules that you've kind of made up for yourself in many ways of how a relationship is supposed to be, how love is supposed to be. And the Page of Cups is here kind of saying, well, you know, if you keep doing that, you're just going to keep ending up with these tower moments. So it's kind of a new, because the page is always a new energy, it's a kind of new outlook. It's saying you can have this new outlook on relationships. You can have this new outlook on love. Because he does hold this cup here in his hand. And because it's a page, it is the kind of early stirrings. It's kind of saying that, you know, I'm ready again. I'm willing, I'm wanting to put myself out there and find somebody who I can give this cup to, somebody who wants to share it with me, and who I can start having a emotional connection with as well. Often for me, the Page of Cups is also about coming out after a time of withdrawing, after a period of hurt and pain. So that could also be what this tower moment has been as well. So that is your challenge, Leo, if you like, is to kind of overcome, I feel, that old energy, the old energy, and step into the new energy of allowing yourself to love more freely and openly, without putting all these restrictions or these kind of rules or yeah, just kind of rules on yourself as to how it should be and how it must be, and if it isn't like that, then it's not working. If it's not like that, then it can't be real. It can't be real love. What's in your head and what you're aware of with this Knight of Pentacles here? Is this very kind of slow, grounded energy. I always see the Knight of Pentacles as being somebody who's very kind of self, what's the word here I'm looking for? Very self, like they're good at looking after themselves. They're very, like they've taken time out to really kind of take care of their own needs before they can move forward to take or look after anybody else's needs as well. I'm still trying to think what that word is. It's going to bug me. Self-contained in many ways. It's a self-contained card. It's a card of being kind of very like almost like a card of feeling that they're strong and capable and they can do things without somebody else. They don't need somebody else in their life in order to be able to get what they want, or they're very dependable, they're very grounded, they're very kind of, for me, they always remind me of tortoise energy. That very slow, very dependable, very kind of fixed in many ways, fixed in their ways, fixed in their thinking. They are the signs of Earth. So they kind of represent the Taurus, Capricorn and Virgo energies. And it kind of represents for me your, you know, your fixed ideas here as well. Your fixed ideas of how things should or shouldn't be. And the Page of Cups, of course, is the water energy as well. I have no idea why they'd have it as a orange energy here. But with this as your, what's in your head, this kind of stability, but at the same time very kind of almost like standoffish, almost like, you know, I can take care of myself, I don't need anybody else in my life, I am like self-contained, and still can't think of that word, but that, I hope that's kind of expressing what I'm trying to say here. Very dependable though, very dependable people, this energy. So this could be your energy, Leo. It's what's in your head and what you're aware of. So I kind of feel that that's what it's saying, is that it is about this, you know, fixedness. Like once my mind's made up, then almost like hell and high water's not going to change it. It's like that's how it is. But this Tower is saying otherwise. And that's kind of what Tower moments do in many ways. They kind of kick us out of our restricted kind of ways of being and thinking. It's kind of like, you know, you're forced out of a situation that you've kind of created for yourself. But like I was saying, it gets to a point where it doesn't grow anymore. It has nowhere to go. There's no movement within it, no growth within it. So maybe you're actually kind of aware of that as well on some level. That you kind of reach that point within yourself with this Knight of Pentacles, because it is a very slow, earth-related, earth-bound kind of energy. Work-related as well. It could relate to work. It could relate to somebody who's just putting all their time and their energy and their effort into creating something for themselves here. And they do have this armour on, and they do have this kind of that helmet that they've got on their head there, is kind of covering everything. It's like showing nothing of themselves at all here, Leo. Just kind of, I feel the energy that you've been in. So what you've been working with and the energy that's moving away is the Queen of Cups in reverse, the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. So again, more emotion. There's a lot of emotion here with both the Queen and the Page and this King. And both the King and the Queen are in reverse as well. So this could also be like a power couple, perhaps, like a couple that are meant to be together because they both have very similar understanding of each other. The Queen of Cups is somebody who's very intuitive, very very deeply in tune, very kind of, it's not just like surface intuitive. This is kind of like a real deep intuitive, like really knowing things on a deeper level before they happen, before they take place. But the thing about the Queen of Cups, which is very interesting, is that she kind of, because it's so watery, this energy, she kind of doesn't have her own, or she like, especially when it's in reverse, I'm going to say this because it's in reverse as well, that this energy kind of takes on board stronger personalities. So if there's a stronger personality, she will kind of mimic that energy. It's almost like having a mirror held up to you and seeing parts of yourself. And it's a thing that's kind of, with the Queen of Cups, she can't help it. It's just kind of who she is. It's just this kind of, in Greek, it's known as being a cipher, as in kind of reflecting back to somebody. But it often causes problems, it often causes arguments, it often causes strife, and makes relationships difficult, because if you're not mature enough to kind of recognize those parts of yourself that are being shown you, then it can cause huge problems. Because although the Queen of Cups doesn't appear to have a personality, she actually does. She kind of has a personality behind this energy. It's kind of interesting. But she kind of has this, behind what you want to project onto her, she has her own personality. So this could be something that you've been working through for yourself, Leo, that you've kind of been looking at different aspects of yourself here as well, particularly maybe with this Tower card as well. It could have brought on some kind of illuminating realizations for you as well. Because when the actual personality of the Queen of Cups comes out, shall we say, it's like you've projected something onto this, almost like this is just a screen where you kind of project whatever it is you want onto it. And then that can change, and her personality that's behind this can be very different, particularly as we're all made up of different aspects. So, you know, we may portray this energy at some point, and then we may have, say, like, you know, a much more fiery side to us that comes out, and that may kind of shock and cause ruptions. Just kind of, that's the kind of energy that the Queen of Cups can do. She's also very, particularly when she's in reverse, but she is also very loving and caring when she's upright. She does have this caring quality about her. She's very compassionate. But when she's in reverse, it's like she kind of loses her own identity. And with the Page of Pentacles here as well, 2 pages here, in fact, like I was saying, these 2 pages, Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. It's almost like these younger versions of her. am I feeling here? Almost like the younger versions of our own personality, if you like. Here, Leo. Page of Pentacles, very similar. You know, it's that energy of looking for something that's going to ground you, something that you can put this pentacle energy into, something that you can make grow. You've got the page and the knights here. So it is looking for growth within something here. Looking for growth, wanting something to grow. And there's also a very kind of flamboyant energy here as well. So I'm kind of feeling that whatever she first, and I'm only saying she because it's a queen, it doesn't have to be a female, it can be a male gender just as easily. But it's almost like these two personalities are hiding behind this energy here. And these are both very young. These are both very kind of childlike energies, very almost childish energies, although they're not in reverse. So they're both inquisitive energies. They're both with the swords. It's all about the mind. It's kind of looking for new ideas, new sense of purpose. Seeing things differently, opening yourself up to different ways of looking at the world. Can be to do with communication. So there could have been a lack of communication here as well. Again, it could have something to do with this work energy as well. Somebody's working very hard on their own pentacle and their own environment here, their own home environment maybe. But there may also be a feeling of loneliness with this queen here as well, because she does need to have some love in her life, the Queen of Cups. She doesn't do well being alone, which is kind of what I'm getting from this card here. As I was saying earlier, it's kind of very self-contained energy. But ultimately, she doesn't do very well being on her own. So that could also be why she's been in this reverse situation. So let's see what's underneath this energy here. So yeah, the Page of Swords also with this, I'll just say quickly, this kind of turquoise colour that's very much within this card, and the blue as well. Very much to do with communication, the throat, also communication possibly from the heart as well, having to be really kind of open and honest about things. Maybe open and honest about a relationship, how you're really feeling about something. For me, the turquoise always relates to the throat and the heart chakra, this kind of middle chakra that's about here. The turquoise chakra here, which is a blending of the throat, the blue, and the heart, the green, which is very much related to this colour here as well, the green kind of mixing together. And it's about open, heartfelt communication. But it's kind of, I feel, early stages of it as well. Just these early stages. It's like things haven't quite progressed beyond the early stages of this. Of opening up the door maybe to communication here. There may even be two younger people in your life here as well, Leo. It may be that you have two people that you're attracted to that are quite kind of I hesitate to say innocent, but kind of an energy of them being young of mind, maybe young of heart, young of, like, they haven't had a lot of stress in their life, or they haven't really lived much life, so they haven't really had much experience of life either. But I'm sure there was a card that turned over here. Here we go. So what's below the energy here in the kind of subconscious realm of what you're experiencing, Leo, the Five of Pentacles is an energy of feeling as though you've been pushed out into the cold here. That's interesting because this kind of pentacle here as well, this one here, I was thinking earlier, why has it not got a green bit on it like this one does here? This one's got like a green bit in the middle, but his shield doesn't. It's just plain gold with a few kind of green dots on it, or gems, I'm presuming. But this pentacle here is very much the same. It's kind of lit up and it looks like a similar kind of energy. Almost feels to me like a form of protection. Like this is your protection, this is your shield, this is your way of kind of keeping things at bay, Leo. Like a feeling of you being left out in the cold, and so you have kind of done the same thing. And feel that you have kind of, because you've been put into the cold, you've done the same to others. It's almost like you're manifesting that energy is what I'm kind of feeling, and that's why I feel, you know, I was saying earlier about this kind of independence here. This very strong sense of independence, this very strong sense of I don't need to have anybody in my life, even though that may not strictly be true, because this Queen here, which could represent you, or it could represent the person that you've got this connection with, but there is a sense here with this pentacle of you shielding yourself here, Leo, shielding yourself from something. And basically what you're shielding yourself from is this, because this is your challenge and your block. That's where you don't want to go. And I feel as well with this King of Water in reverse, you also don't want to let it go. You also don't want to release something, even though in many ways you know that it will do you the world of good to do so. It will stop you being stuck. Okay. So, okay, right. We have the Wheel of Fortune as the energy that's moving in. So this is change. This is something that is kind of bringing, I feel this Tower moment is bringing this in. It's like a shift. It's like things are going to move in divine timing. Things are shifting, things are moving. Whether that's even you actually moving physically from where you are to somewhere else. That could also be the case here as well. But it's come out with the Six of Wands, which is lovely, and it was upright. So this is very much talking about a victory here. Of you receiving a victory or feeling victorious, feeling as though you're on top of something, feeling as though what you have worked through here and this change that's coming is going to bring in this kind of energy of victory. And celebration as well, I feel. celebration, possibly even recognition, possibly even kind of the 6 can often relate to because it comes after the 5, which is all about overcoming adversity. The 6 kind of says, you know, that you've been through the trials and come out the other side. But the other card that came out with it is the 9 of Wands in reverse. And the 9 of Wands is a card of almost completion, because the 10 is the completion. The 10 is the point of kind of reaching that stage of something having to finish in order for something new to come in. So the 9 is saying that you are so close to kind of to achieving this, but you're really exhausted. You're really exhausted. And also that you may not even recognize this at first because you're so exhausted. You may not realize the victory. You may not see it at first. And it may even not feel like a victory at first because you're so exhausted and you are kind of down on your knees and you're kind of holding onto this rod here and you're staring down at the floor here. If I turn it around, you can see it there. Staring down at the floor, kind of in a sense of kind of despair and kind of feeling of how much more, which is represented by these 8 wands in the background here, of all the struggles that you've had to go through to get to this point. So it's kind of saying to me that you need to kind of try and rise above it all, I feel is what it's saying here. You need to rise above it all and not allow yourself to see it as negative energy as well. Rather see all this as being experience, things that you've had to go through in order to get to where you are. And to see it as a positive rather than a negative, to kind of try and see it as victories. See it all as victory. That you've overcome all these things in order to get to this point. So there is a lot of cup energy in this reading. There is a lot of emotion. There is a lot of I feel like new beginnings in some ways as well. I feel like there's new opportunities here, even though it's not coming out with aces. It does feel as though things are shifting in your favour here, Leo. That things are moving on for you in a positive, very positive way. The planets are aligning in your favour. And this is a Venus direct reading, so, and it does seem to be kind of involving love energy here as well. For this other person, your energetic and emotional connection that you have here, they have the Strength card at the very heart of their reading. So they're really needing to find inner strength here. And they have the 4 of Wands as they're crossing. So this is a challenging energy. 4 of Wands is depicted very differently in this deck of cards. Normally you'll see it as a kind of canopy of flowers and 4 poles kind of holding it up, and it's a kind of coming together, making something solid, a foundation. With this card, it's much more about this boat representing life, and it's like the boat is coming in and you're kind of surrounded by all these people, friends, family, supportive people, basically. Your kind of tribe, if you like, who are all there. In this particular card, or in this deck, this is all about Jason and the Argonauts. So this is just prior to him getting onto this boat. So it's kind of to do with adventure. It's kind of finding that strength, I feel, that inner strength to move. It kind of says to me, like, you know, you've been here at this point for a long time, for the cross watcher here, or for yourself, Leo, whichever way round this fits best. But this person has been kind of standing on this beach, shall we say, with this boat waiting out in the waters here. And they can't make up their mind whether they want to get onto this boat and take this journey, this adventure, this new direction. It is the challenge. And so they're in this place of kind of trying to find the inner strength in order to be able to do that, because they're working on their own discipline in many ways. They're working on becoming disciplined with themselves. That's what I'm kind of picking up here. They're working on their discipline for themselves so that in order they can move their life forward, but they're not quite sure yet how they're going to do that, or whether or not they even want to get on that boat, whether they're going to just wait for that boat to leave and wait for the next one to come along. But sometimes that can take a long time. So the boat could also represent the relationship here as well, or your connection between the two of you. If it is still even there, this person may not even be sure whether they have, whether that connection's still there, whether that boat is actually still waiting for them. I've got their hands on their hips here as well. So there's a kind of stubbornness here I'm feeling as well, a kind of stubbornness with this person. And a kind of feeling of that they may not always do the right thing by themselves as well, like for themselves. They may not always, their stubbornness may stop them from actually doing the right thing, even though they know it's the right thing. They can be really strong-willed. And what they have in their head is this King of Swords energy here. So if this is how they're seeing you, Leo, they are seeing you as somebody who's very difficult to reach, somebody who's not easy to have conversation with, somebody who's quite closed off again, somebody who, similar to this King of Water energy of being in reverse here, of being out of balance, like they're emotionally out of balance. It's air energy, energy of Libra, Gemini and Aquarius. And he does have the scales here in his hand as well. So it is kind of a Libra energy in that sense of wanting fairness and balance. But when they're upside down, it's almost like they no longer have a good perspective on what fairness and balance is. And so there's a kind of, I feel like there's a kind of coldness here, a kind of closing off, a kind of, this could be your energy, Leo, this could be them as well. This could be what's in their head, is that this is what they're doing. This is how they've become, and they could well be aware of this as well, with the Strength card here and this 4, this kind of stubborn energy. This could well be this person, in fact. They could have a lot of air within their astrological makeup here. But it's a very kind of cold and harsh and like unforgiving energy, the King of Swords, especially when he's in reverse. So they all may also feel as well that, you know, they've had to become closed off because of this energy, with you being so self-contained and independent and kind of maybe not wanting to let them into your world and your environment. So Leo, maybe they've turned quite harsh and quite cold towards you as well, because they feel as though their energy isn't going to, they can't soften, but they have to remain harsh and hard, and in order to kind of deal with the distance. I feel there's a distance that they're having to cope with here, which is why I also feel they've got this 4 of Wands and this inner strength that they're having to kind of master their discipline here and not react. But there is an energetic, I would say definitely an energetic connection here between you and this person, whoever this person may be. What have we got here then? Oh, interesting. We have the King of Cups twice. So this person is definitely very clued into you, shall we say. They are very, this is what they've been working with, or the energy that they've been is moving away. And like I was saying, I feel as though they have this, like there is this energetic connection, this emotional connection here. Because the King of Water and the King of Cups coming out twice. Once in reverse and once up the right way. And so especially as well, we've got this Queen of Cups here as well. So it is both the masculine and the feminine energies that are being worked here. Interesting again that the female energy here is in reverse as well. So this is the energy that is out of balance here. So let's see what else we got. We've got the King, the Fool. So this is about taking a leap, and it kind of relates to this, what I was talking about, this boat that's kind of waiting in the water for this person. It's like, are they going to take this leap of faith? Are they going to jump off this cliff and trust where they're going? The Six of Swords in reverse is saying to me that there is a reluctance here of moving forward, because the Six of Swords is about kind of moving out of turmoil, moving out of turbulent energies, turbulent times with the Six, With the swords, it's about the mind as well, but it's kind of the mind and the emotions together, kind of really churning everything up. So there is this movement forward, but with the Six of Swords, it's almost like it reaches a point of like almost being in these calmer and more serene waters, but at the same point in time, not quite allowing yourself to reach there. So you kind of stop that process from happening. You kind of put a halt to it because you don't want to leave behind whatever it is that is behind, whatever it is that you're moving away from. You don't actually want to be leaving it behind. So I feel as though this person would like to move away from this. They would like to start something different, something new with this fall energy here. But they do have the Eight of Pentacles here as well. So I don't feel as though they are, in many ways, going to be working on something new. Although this is a kind of situation that can be seen as being something new. But I'm getting more a feeling of kind of reworking something here. Of trying to kind of... Eights can be about change. I'm just trying to kind of, it's very, like you're standing at this table, there's a stability here, there's a kind of finding your feet again, or this person's finding their feet again, but they're also kind of working on something, or they feel they've worked over. It's like they're working over it. They're kind of going over it again to see if they can get it right. After all these different attempts down here, it's like almost like starting. It could well be about starting a new. I don't feel as though it's a new profession. It's more like starting something that they're familiar with it. So it could be to do with starting life, like, you know, a new chapter in their life here. But there's a lot of kind of like familiarity with it as well. And they're very focused. Their attention is very focused on this. Very focused on it. Almost like they don't want to look up from the table. They don't want to kind of be distracted here. Like there's a sense of it being a way of dealing with all the emotion, all the kind of overwhelming emotional situation, and knowing that they have to move forward. So their way of dealing with it is kind of looking, I feel, looking back over it somehow, reworking it. Whatever that is, whether it's the relationship, whether it's aspects of their own life here, or whether it is starting something that's going to be a lot more productive for them as well. But it's almost like, okay, this is where my focus of attention is going. It's going very much into something that I can kind of rebuild or rework or reevaluate. That's what I feel, that's where I feel their attention is. And interestingly, we have the Queen of Cups come out again here as well. So that's twice for the Queen of Cups and twice for the King of Cups here. So there is strong, I would say a strong emotional, strong psychic, intuitive connection between you and this other person, Leo. And this is very much the kind of cipher energy that I was talking about here as well, with her sitting literally in this water. She's just kind of this emotional energy. Just very, very emotional, just very kind of almost like, you know, what you see here is not necessarily what is actually behind the personality. That's kind of what I'm feeling with this energy. And we have the Three of Wands, we have the Two of Cups, we have the Ten of Wands, which is interesting because you've got the Nine, and we've got the Empress energy in reverse as well. And this is all in the subconscious. This is all over the top of this energy of yours, this kind of feeling out in the cold or being pushed out in the cold, Leo, possibly by this person here who you have now kind of kept a distance from, I feel, on some level. But there is a lot of emotion around this. There's been a lot of waiting. There could also be a possible feeling of risk taking here as well, that a risk was taken and it didn't necessarily work out the way that it was supposed to work out. Also that there could have been an imbalance within this relationship as well, like one person may have been I wouldn't say much more invested, well maybe much more invested, but also one person may well have kind of looked up to the other person. Which caused an imbalance, which caused this person to feel as though they weren't on an equal playing field here as well. Because it has got the Two of Cups here as well. So there is a strong attraction here. There is still this strong attraction between you two. Waiting, wanting this strong attraction, wanting something to reignite or re-spark here. But just feeling like every time that there may have been, this could have been a relationship where there was kind of a lot of backwards and forwards here as well. With this risk-taking card. Somebody may have felt that they were taking more of a risk than the other person here as well. But a lot of waiting and a lot of kind of feeling that it didn't what's the word here? It didn't it didn't give the results that were wanted. It didn't allow the relationship to actually like I was saying, we've got the 9 here and the 10 here as well, so that's interesting. But I'm kind of feeling that with this 10 of Wands that there was something that kind of was over-consuming with this. There was an over-consuming energy. It didn't allow the relationship to progress, to... What am I getting here? What am I feeling? Almost like it kind of just got consumed. Like something was just too much. There was too much of something and not enough of something else. There wasn't enough balance somehow. This is very fiery energy, very passionate energy, very kind of demanding energy in many ways as well. Fire energy can be very demanding, very dynamic, it's the energy of the fire elements. Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo yourself, of course. And it can be very dominant energy as well. That's why I'm kind of getting this kind of dominance in this energy here, which kind of, I'm seeing it here as well. Again, this is Jason. So this is after he's been on his adventure. And it kind of feels to me like empty words and empty promises in a way here, that something was promised, there was a lot more promised than was delivered. And it just left this kind of feeling of emptiness here. Because the Empress, when she's upright, and I'm kind of feeling it with this energy here as well, almost like this is that kind of sense of kind of putting somebody here on a pedestal, because the Empress can be the energy of the perfect person, shall we say, somebody who ticks all your boxes. They're kind of like, you know, they are your one, the one that you want to spend the rest of your life with, male or female. They kind of reflect everything that you need. They kind of have abundance, and they, you know, they're mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, everything that you're looking for with the Empress. But she's in reverse here. So I'm kind of feeling that this energy here of like somebody putting somebody on a pedestal here, because that's what's happening here, is kind of handing him this crown. But it also feels as though there's a power imbalance, like the power dynamic here wasn't balanced. There was an imbalance, which is why somebody got left out in the cold emotionally, eventually. Because this energy here was not satisfying or fulfilling. It's almost like the total opposite, and it can be very like the angry mother energy in many ways. Like if you think of Mother Earth and this, you know, the way that she can just ravage. It's that kind of feeling that I'm getting from this card here, with this energy here as well. It's kind of just ravaged this, whatever was within this relationship, just got kind of ripped apart, torn to shreds. So let's see what this person has got coming in for them. I would also explain why the Tower is at the centre of this reading as well. This Tower energy here. And also why the Knight of Pentacles and the King of Swords. Okay, so you have the King of Wands, which is your own energy, but it is in reverse here. So you may not be feeling particularly dynamic. You may not be feeling particularly adventurous at this time, Leo. You may feel as though your fire is kind of being a bit kind of subdued here. You may not feel particularly courageous at this moment in time either. Because this is your own card. You could also be dealing with a Leo, a Sagittarius or an Aries who have this kind of energy about them. Or the person that you're dealing with also, like I was saying, they could have this fiery side to their own personality, their own character, but it is also not being revealed, or it's subdued at this time, because this person is kind of hanging things up, almost like they're hanging things up. It's almost like they're going, like giving up, surrendering, letting go of whatever it was that they were holding on to here, which could be yourself here, Leo. That they have been hanging on to this energy, but they're now kind of ready to just release it, let go, try and find a different perspective here, because it's almost like with this, what I'm feeling, this energy here of kind of like they can't do anything else. They can't do anything else. It's kind of like they've become stuck, kind of statue type of energy here. This is how they're feeling. They're feeling blocked. They're feeling like they haven't got any movement here. So they're going to willingly release. They're going to willingly let this go. They're going to willingly say, okay, I can't do anything about this with Leo. I'm just going to just let it go. Just surrender it. Free myself from it somehow. And in doing so, the Knight of Cups comes in. But it's only in that releasing that this person is going to bring this energy through. Almost like once they completely let go of it, something else comes in. Which could be your energy here as well. Because like I was saying, there was this shift, Leo. There is a shift here. Something different. This Wheel of Fortune here is shifting this energy into a sense of victory. So for some of you, it may be a case of something shifting and you wanting to get back with this person, bringing out this side of yourself, Leo, or they're going to bring out this side of themselves. And for the rest of you, it's going to be a sense or a victory of kind of a relief in a way, a kind of sense of at last letting go of that old baggage. And I don't mean that in the sense of the person who you're dealing with in that sense, but this also, this old baggage here, this kind of energy wise old baggage, stuff that you've been carrying around with you, the restrictions, the ideas, the kind of limitations of how things must be, should be, could be kind of energy. So let's see what the Moonology cards have to say here, because of course you do also have the Page of Cups here as well. So we have the Page and we have the Knight and we have the King and we have the Queen. There is a lot of emotion in this. Like I said, we have the King and the Queen twice. So there's a lot of emotional, possible emotional fulfillment in this as well. Which could also be why there's a holding back here, a sense of neither of you wanting to kind of bridge that gap. There's been a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's been a lot of feeling of, what I'm feeling is there's been a lot of well, yeah, again, I suppose emotion. There's been a lot of emotion throughout this whole relationship, in fact. And I do feel it has been like a kind of in and out kind of experience here. And so you have the South Node energy here of don't let your past hold you back. Which is interesting because it does kind of relate to this Nine of Swords here. It's kind of letting go. The South Node is all about letting go. It's what we need to release. And also with this King of Water here. This King of Water and this little fish, which kind of I saw really strongly, as I was saying earlier in my kind of meditation. And shuffling, and just this kind of feeling of the fish can also, because it's Piscean energy, which kind of relates to this energy here as well, this hangman energy of having to release something, of having to surrender and let it go. But it's only in that process of letting it go that you can allow yourself to move forward. Which is also this energy here as well, this Tower energy. Holding you back, restrictions. Don't let your past hold you back, Leo. So either that can mean don't let your past hold you back, as in what you have been through previously with this person. Don't kind of let that block something that is very kind of emotional and you have a strong attachment to each other, because there is a very strong connection and attachment and love here as well, a lot of love here. But at the same time, for some of you it could also mean don't allow that to hold you back either. Don't allow yourself to be held back in that situation rather than pushing beyond that or moving beyond it. So it's going to be different for everybody. So however it resonates really. So I'm going to pull 3 cards from the Blessed Angel Oracle cards. I'm going to pull one from the top, one from the middle and one from the bottom to see what we get here. And I'm going to do the same with the angel cards, Leo, and I'm going to put them together and see what they have to say. Okay, so top card, bottom card, middle card. Okay, and going to do the same with the angel cards. We'll leave it there. Top card, bottom card, and middle card. Okay, so first we have guidance. And it says, angels bless you with guidance. And it kind of has a lot of red and pink colouring to it. Kind of relates for me to the root chakra, but also to the heart chakra as well. kind of mix of the pink of the heart and the kind of red of the passion and the sexuality here as well. And it's come out with joy. And joy says, joy springs from a sense of connection to the divine and is a quality which illuminates you. Your angel guidance is to cultivate this quality by seeking the divine in every situation. Look beyond the surface and seek the light in the heart of each person. It's quite interesting because that does actually look like a red heart as well. Then you will become aware of the wonder of creation and joy will ignite your life. Delight in everything, for joy is a key to enlightenment. Enjoy life. And it says, affirmation, I find joy in everything. I think this card came out yesterday for Cancer as well, Leo, so you may want to check out the Cancer reading, see if there's any connection there. But it does kind of look a bit like a red heart here. But it has, for me, a lot of passion about this card. A lot of passion. So maybe that's what it's saying. Find your joy with passion, or find your passion in joy. Kind of, what is your joy? What makes you feel joyful? Where is your passion lie? And then we have perspective, which is look at this from a higher perspective, which is really interesting because for me it kind of relates to this card here. Because this is all about perspective, finding a different perspective, hanging yourself upside down, surrendering, letting go. And it looks very the kind of the blue is kind of the turquoisey colour as well that I was seeing earlier in the page of, here we go, the Page of Swords. Similarity there. Which I was talking about, this kind of throat, heart energy, chakra energy, and there is also a kind of look of a heart there as well. So let's see what the card that comes out with this. We have adventure. And it says, life is an adventure. Be ready for the unexpected and make the most of all opportunities. The angel wisdom suggests you get out of any habits or ruts in which you are stuck. Do things that are different and face life with a sense of wonder. It could also have something to do with this Four of Wands card here as well. It's kind of adventure. And also, of course, your own card here, Leo, which is very much about adventure and pushing beyond the boundaries of where you have already been in many ways. If the path ahead seems dark, do as you would if you were exploring a dark place. Ask your angels to light up the way, then watch for the signs and signals that tell you where and how to go. Explore the new with excitement and courage. These magnetic qualities attract money and career openings and add zest to relationships. The angels are inspiring you to move forward with anticipation, expectancy and hope. I face the adventure of life eagerly is the affirmation here. So adventure and perspective. Take a new perspective and have adventures. But also this King of Wands energy as well could also relate to the fact that at the moment there isn't a lot of courage around. Mars has been in Pisces for so long now, for about 5 weeks I think it is, that you know, we're all feeling a little kind of less dynamic and fiery and kind of adventurous in many ways, especially as we've had to kind of put up with what we've had to put up with. Very kind of housebound energy in many ways. So we have laughter, and angels bless you with laughter. I'm kind of seeing green and purple in this card in particular coming through here. Green, the heart chakra again, and purple, the kind of higher crown chakra energy. And so imagination is saying thoughts are the building bricks of life. For everything begins with a thought. Add creativity to thoughts and you have imagination. Every castle starts as a castle in the air. This image is then grounded by architects and builders. The angels are inviting you to use the power of your creative imagination to expand your horizon and picture the life you want. When you hold a vision, the angels see the clarity of your intention and open doors to help you. The angel wisdom guides you to decide your desired outcomes. Be certain that you have the purest intentions. Then image your dreams and start the process of creation. And the affirmation is, I picture positive outcomes for the highest good. And of course, one of the best ways to stay in positive energy is laughter. Is being able to kind of laugh at situations. So those are your messages for today, Leo. I'm going to leave it there and say thank you very much for watching. Please, could you like up my video, thumbs it up for me, because it does get it out into the bigger YouTube world, where it can get picked up by the algorithms and kind of sent out into the broader sense of YouTube land, so to speak. It's why all YouTubers are always saying, please thumbs up our videos, because the more thumbs it gets, the more it gets put out there. The more people can see it, the more people can come back and subscribe to my channel, hopefully. Thank you very, very much to all of you who have already subscribed to my channel. I really, really do appreciate it. And also, could you tap the bell if you haven't already done so, so that you can receive the videos as and when I put them out there, the future videos that we'll be putting out. I've recently put out a video on Neptune retrograde, Venus turning direct, and Mars in the last kind of degrees of Pisces as well, which is the kind of worst point of the whole zodiac. And for Mars it's even worse, because he's just about to get into his home, so he knows it's there but he can't quite reach it yet. So also, if you think that anybody else would benefit from this reading, could you please share it with them as well, because that really would help to get my message out there as well. So hopefully, Leo, you'll have found something within this reading, and I'm going to wish you all the best and say hope to see you again soon. Please take care of anybody who you can, and take really good care of yourself too.